Hello and welcome. I'm so excited to get you started at Dr. Sanderson and Associates. We're going to go through your intake paperwork today and show you what it's like to set up all of your stuff through our software called JNAP. So as we go through, you'll see me flip from different screens to get all the information that you need, but don't worry, all of your stuff will be a lot more seamless. It's just a little difficult when we're not clients ourselves to get things set up. So bear with me and we'll get this going. So the first thing that you are going to receive is a welcome email. Now you'll see that this says testing 123. Well, that's the fake client I set up in order to get in and be able to show you all the cool things that happen within our system. So as you get started, you'll get this welcome email and you're going to click the set up your account button. When you click that button, it's going to take you to the sign-in screen where your email should pop in there. So this is the fake email that I created for my account, but this will show your email when you click on that button. You're going to be asked to set up a password to come into this account. I have set one up, so I'm going to paste that right here, and then you're going to click sign in. Now we're all in and ready, so we're going to be filling out our intake form together. So we are going to get started with hitting the agree and continue button. And it's going to take us through the information that we may or may not already have on file, depending on what information you gave to our referral staff. So it's got my name and my fake email, my preferred name if it's different, and my pronouns. I'm going to go ahead and write mine in here. And my phone number, my address, and you can fill in all of this information. Now, the only ones that are required will say required next to them. And we know that it is difficult with some of these required spaces. So if it says required, please pick the one that works the most for you, and we will confirm with you anything that we need differently for your insurance company if you're using insurance. And then, of course, down here at the bottom, you can fill in this information if you'd like on who referred you, how you heard about us, and who you were referred to. If you click down on that one, it'll show you all the different options of folks at the practice. And then we're going to go ahead and click continue. I already have a credit card saved on file here because I didn't want to be typing one in for you. But if you didn't have a credit card on file, step 2 would be asking you for a credit card to be on file. We do require them for everyone at the practice because that just makes a lot of things simpler for making sure that we can cover any late cancellations or no-show fees or any other types of things that require a credit card, like your copay or your deductible or those pieces. If you would not like to use a credit card for regular payments, that is totally fine. We take cash and check, and you can work with your therapist on those pieces, but you will need to fill out a credit card on here. So let's go ahead and click step 3 to the next one. So insurance information. I already have insurance information on file in here, but let me go ahead and show you how to add it. So I'm going to click the add a new policy, and it's going to show up all of these things that we currently take for our insurance. So I'm going to go ahead and click Aetna. It's going to ask me to go ahead and upload a photo of a card, or I can take a photo of a card, the front and back. You're going to type in the group policy and number, the member ID number, and then the relationship to the insured person. If it is yourself, you just click self and move on. If it is a spouse, it is going to ask you the information on the spouse, and then you would fill in all of that information. I am going to go ahead and skip this section because I've already done it, but that's exactly what will show up for you. If you don't have an insurance policy on file, you'll click on which insurer you have and move forward from there. So now steps 4, you're going to do your intake document. If you are a current client during the switch to JNAP, you can feel free to put into these boxes, see previous intake. If you are a new person in the transition to JNAP and have not filled out an intake before with us, you will be filling out this document. So we're going to fill it out together as if you're a brand new person. So the first question is about your mental health, and it's going to ask you to fill in as much information as you can about why you're coming to counseling, what are your goals, and how you'll know what goal completed treatment looks like. It'll ask you some more information about all of your mental health history. It'll ask you relationship questions, education, occupation, medical issues, And one question that is really important is this question here. Would you like me to collaborate with your prescribing physician? If you don't have any medications that you're taking, but you're not sure that you want me to or you want us to or not, please feel free to click that unsure button. We're getting a lot of information from insurance companies that they would like for us to collaborate with our primary care physician or our prescribing clinicians. But if you do not want us to, you have the right to click that no button if you don't want us to. Legal issues, military issues, personal beliefs and practices, substances, and some risk questions down here at the bottom. We do have some information on telehealth specific, so we do ask this from everybody. So we do ask if people are doing telehealth or want to flip to telehealth at some points, that they go ahead and give us this information at intake. So an emergency contact person if anything should go wrong with your telehealth appointment, and their phone number, and you agree to inform us of the location where you are every session, because we do have some rules around where we can and cannot do services. And then your hospital phone number and police phone number. And that's just so that we can make sure to send people to the right place. If I call 911 and you're in Klamath Falls, we cannot get you the support that you need quickly enough. I'd really need to know the information about folks that are in Klamath Falls to be able to help you. All right, and then you just sign or draw your information down here below. So let's get to the next page. All right, we are at step 5 of 5. So once you get done filling out those pieces, you're going to go through our consent forms. So we have our cancellation policy here. You do need to check that box. Our communications policy, you get a choice that you can either agree to non-secure communication via phone or voicemail, or not for communication via phone or voicemail. You'd like to only use Jane app secure messaging. You can also tell us whether or not you'd like text messaging, recognizing that text messaging is technically non-secure. And if you don't want that, you can have messages over the secure messaging app. Emails are the same way. You may choose whichever of those you like. And then the last one is globally related to billing and payment and other things that you have the right to do whichever way that you would like, and choose that for you. Now, this is written as if we're asking you to do that, but the truth is it's about you. So if you use just a random Gmail, you are technically doing stuff that's unsecure all the time. You may not care about it being unsecure, or you may be using an address for your from work, and you may not care that your boss can see all the stuff that would come through here or whatever. And that's fine. You can give us permission to email you back through those places. But if you would like your communication to be through the Jane app so that you know it's secure, that is totally fine too. You get the choice on where you would like that to work. Our electronic payment disclosure just basically says, you need to be aware of where your receipts go to, and you get a choice of where that works or where that goes to. So if you would prefer to use cash or check for privacy, but will authorize us to use the card on file for virtual sessions or late cancellations, or I choose to use cash or check for privacy and do not want to put a card on file, this may limit my options to practice, and I'll discuss with my therapist. Now, you remember that you already put a card on file, and you didn't get this option before that. That's because the software that we use really doesn't give us an option to do that differently. But if you click this one, our therapist can go in and delete that card off of the file for you, but it may limit what services we're able to offer for you. Meaning that, like, for our student therapists who are able to do low or no cost sessions, you are absolutely able to do that because there aren't a lot of other fees that go along with working with our student therapists. So we have some options for you if that's what you would prefer. Our email list consent, you can either be on the email list or not, completely up to you. And then we've got our No Surprises Act disclosure that I'm sure you see at every medical appointment that you go to. By signing, you agree that you've been notified of your rights under the No Surprises Act. And then, of course, our privacy policies, which you see, of course, at every doctor's appointment again. You'll have to click that button. And then our practice policies are at the very end of that. So the location of our services, what our fees are for different things, and our student intern disclosure statement, court disclosure statements, other appointments, social media, minors, everything, right? You've understood what's in that section. Your rights and responsibilities. So this is your client rights, and our rights, telehealth rules, consent for telehealth, and then emergency procedures after that. I realize that it's a lot and it's a lot of reading and it's all in one document. Unfortunately, Jane, that's how Jane does it. I think there's some parts of that that are nice and some parts of that that are, just messy. And that's what we got. So you'll come in here and you'll type your name. And I actually need to click a lot of these boxes, so I'll be right back. All right, and when you are done, it will say, thanks, we've received your info. And then you can click on Go to My Account. When you click on that, it should bring up your upcoming appointment. So you'll see that my fake client has a upcoming appointment of a telehealth appointment with a clinician called Virtual Assistant, it's going to be an online appointment. So even though it says at Tigard, it is an online appointment and it says that it's telehealth, right? That's because the therapist I'm working with is going to be at the Tigard location when they do this service. So you really don't have to worry about that piece of it. If it was an in-person appointment, it would say the address that you are going to. You can, if you need to cancel, you do need to contact us to cancel that appointment. So that is how your calendar will look. It will show you all of your upcoming appointments that way. If you click on appointment history, once you have had a couple of appointments, you will see some appointments that have shown up here, and it'll tell you a little bit about when you did them. If you have any messages from your therapist, you will see them here in the messages box. If I go to intake forms, you'll see the intake form that we just submitted today, and you can get a copy of that for your records if you like. If you have any documents, maybe your therapist said, hey, I'm going to send you this worksheet. This is where they'd show up in your worksheet here. Your contact info is going to be here, and you can edit and adjust all sorts of things in here to what works for you. You can adjust your credit card on file by clicking the Add New Card here. You can also pay your balance if you've got any fees or anything that need to be on there. If I go to pay my balance, it would have come up with things that needed to be paid here if it wasn't fully paid already. I can see my receipts here. If I've made any payments, those would all show up in that box. And then, of course, my notifications and reminders. You can decide whether or not you would like email notifications of new, canceled, or rescheduled appointments. Your username and password you can change down here, and you can also change your time zone if you happen to live in a different time zone than where we're at. Lastly, this book an appointment button looks very tempting, right? It's down here at the bottom. It's also up here at the top. Unfortunately, we are not doing online booking right now. So those buttons won't really help you out. You can click on them. I'll show you what it does. If you click on them, it'll say, oh, look at these things that you could do, but those aren't real. We are not using that at the moment yet. So this is kind of your main hub for all of the stuff in here. If you want to message your therapist, you do have to wait to hear from your therapist first. So I would suggest messaging your therapist or asking your therapist to chat with you about messaging first and ask if they can send you a message so that you can reply back to that. And then you'll have an ongoing communication available through our system. All right. That is everything. Thank you so much for staying with me as we were going through setting up your new account with Dr. Sanderson and Associates through our Jane app software.